Hello everybody. First things first, the title of this video is maybe a tad facetious, but I thought it was a funny sort of a clickbaity title. But I am writing a novel, and I do hope, I'm going to try my best to make sure that the novel is in fact great. There's nothing particularly American about it except for the fact that I guess I'm an American. I don't know if that's what makes a great American novel or not. But one thing that I've wanted to do, I've been thinking about this for a while, is that I don't want to just write a novel. I want to bring you guys along on the journey of writing a novel, if you care to experience that. Almost like a real-time, behind-the-scenes making of documentary sort of a deal with these videos. So they're going to be essentially writer's vlogs. I want to make videos charting the progress that I'm making with the book, maybe talking about writing techniques and other things like writer's block, how to deal with that. I don't exactly know how to do that myself, to be perfectly honest with you, but maybe it'd be a good idea to put those struggles or those problems out there, because I know that there's a writer community on YouTube and on other social media sites. And yeah, I don't know, I think it'd be cool to have just this journey that we all go on together as I'm working on this. And that got me thinking, because I don't want to just make a bunch of videos going on and on about a book that nobody really knows about or nobody's read or sampled. And I started thinking about how a lot of the great authors of the past, the great novelists in the 19th century, Charles Dickens, Wilkie Collins, Arthur Conan Doyle, all of their books, not all of them, but a good number of them, were initially serialized and then published when it was completed. And if you're unfamiliar with the process of that, essentially what it would be once a month or once every couple of months, they would release their novels in sections in these different literary magazines. Dickens ended up owning his own. I believe it was called Household Words. There was another one that he published in too. But his novel would be released incrementally over a period of a couple years, because these were big novels. And then once they were serialized, once they were all out in these magazines in their individual sections, I thought I heard something. It's winter, so usually there aren't a lot of people in these woods. But anyway, once they were published in these individual magazines, then altogether the novel would be published. And I kind of want to do that with this story. I think it'd be cool to release it in sections. I'm thinking sections of 4 chapters at a time. The plan right now is to have 40 chapters, so there would be essentially 10 sections. And then to publish them individually, and I haven't decided on where to publish them, whether it would be Kindle or through Amazon, just publish them as ebooks. And then once the entire book's done, I would go about having it published in like a paperback and a hardcover form and all that sort of stuff. And I'd also do some revisions, I think. So there would be some variations between the book as it stood in its segmented ebook form and then the final version. I might change some names, change some things around. Nothing too essential to the plot, I hope. But this is also where this other idea I had came in, of this being kind of a communal experience. If I release the book in sections, you guys, if you want, no pressure, do it. No pressure. You guys could buy them as they're coming out. I would sell the ebook sections pretty cheaply, but you could get them as they came out, and then I could get real-time feedback on the story. Maybe we could even do live streams or something like that, where We discuss what you guys liked, what you didn't, things to maybe change for the final draft. And so it could really become kind of like a co-written book, right? I don't know. Does that sound interesting? I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's a good idea. So let me know what you think in the comments on this video. Now, as to the book itself, you probably want to know a little something. Sorry, my hand's getting... I need a selfie stick or something. Like I'm just holding my phone up like this and it's cramping up my hand a little. There's plenty of sticks on the ground, but none of them are selfie sticks. This is a totem pole thingy. The scouts, like the Boy Scouts, camp here sometimes. So they've had this here. It's a little wobbly though. You can't really see it wobbling, but I don't want to lean up against it or anything, just in case. So what's this book about? It's called The Wintrov Angel. Wintrov being a name, the name of one of the two major families that this book is concerned about. And I got the idea for it from the Bible. Now, this isn't going to be an overtly religious story. There's some elements in there, of course. But the idea came from a passage in the Bible where Jesus Christ is being questioned by the Sadducees. And this is essentially a group of Jews in the first century who were kind of religious scholars, very legalistic, I believe. Or those are Sadducees. I don't think the Pharisees, I mean. I'm getting my C's all confused. Pharisees, Sadducees, all sorts of the 7 C's. But it's the Sadducees who approached Jesus Christ here. And they ask him this really kind of a hypothetical question. It certainly, or most probably didn't actually happen, but they're trying to trip him up. And they're trying to prove to him that an afterlife doesn't exist. They're saying, this is silly. There's no heaven, and this is proof of it. And so they give him this scenario. And I brought a little pocket Bible along with me just to read it for you. And this is in Matthew chapter 22, although it's told in Mark and in Luke as well. This is Matthew chapter 22 and verse 23, and it says, "The same day came to him, Jesus, the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection. And they asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die, having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. Now there were with us 7 brethren. And the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third unto the 7th. And last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7? For they all had her. Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the Scriptures, nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven." And so this example here, it's dealing with a practice that wasn't just in the Old Testament, wasn't exclusively dealing with the Israelites, but it's been a practice in other parts of the world too. The practice is called a levirate marriage. And this is where, as the example says, if a man marries a woman and he dies before he's able to have kids of his own with her, his brother, his younger brother, would take that woman in and have kids with her. And then those kids that he had with her would be legally regarded the deceased older brother's sons or daughters, heirs. And so the Sadducees there are giving Jesus this kind of ridiculous scenario where, okay, there's 7 brothers. And the first one marries this lady, and he dies, and so she marries the second one, and he dies too, all the way through the 7 brothers, and then she dies. And so then in heaven, whose wife is she going to be, right? But when I was reading that passage, I started thinking about, wow, that's some good material for a story. Imagine a woman that goes through that. Imagine somebody who has 7 different marriages and all of the husbands die. What's she thinking in her own mind? Like, is it something about me? What are her relatives and friends thinking? Is it you? Are you a curse or something like that? And that's essentially what the Wintrov Angel is about. It's about this girl, Lorelei. Her name initially is Lorelei Merriwell. And she marries into this family of nobility, the Wintrovs. She marries the older brother. And throughout the book, it's a spoiler alert, but it's also the purpose of the book. Throughout the book, these brothers die one by one. And I think the challenge there, the fun challenge, is to write a story that makes that seem not ridiculous. To give each of the brothers their due share of screen time, as it were, and to develop Lorelei's relationship with each of them. So she has a very good relationship with each of the brothers. And I want each relationship to be kind of a reflection on the different types of love. So there's going to be kind of a different flavor to each of those relationships as she goes through them. But it's a novel about death, obviously, but also self-sacrifice, duty versus selfishness, and living for the pleasures of the moment instead of the grander picture. So there's going to be some larger themes worked into this book too. So the Wintrov Angel. And I will probably spoil more of the plot in the coming videos. I'm not too concerned about that. And like I said, I'm going to be releasing this book in segments too. So I'll reference stuff that you might have already read about. But I want your thoughts on it as we're going through. The levirate marriage situation, the world building that takes place in the story, the different characters. Again, I want this to be sort of not really a group project, but I want feedback, right? I want live reactions from people as this book is coming out. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say with this video. I'll be making more here soon. And I'll let you know when the first part of the Wintrov Angel is coming out. The first 4 chapters. I keep hearing noises over here in the woods. And that's fun. It's getting a little slick and muddy here where I'm standing, so I'm going to turn around and go back, because that would be a less than ideal way to make this big announcement, to just biff it on camera and fall in the mud, right? I don't know, maybe that would be a fun way to start off. It can only go uphill from there. But yeah, the first part will be released. I'd like to have it released a little later on this year, in a couple months. I'm a teacher as well, if you didn't know that, and so the school year is a little busy for me. The first 4 chapters are essentially written already, but they need to go through an editing process and things like that. So I'd like to have the first 4 out maybe by the beginning of summer, right? So let me know what you think. If this is a project that you would be interested in, I could definitely use your support. Not just financially, if you decide to buy the chapters as they're coming out or not, but also in terms of word of mouth, right? So I normally don't say this in the videos I post on this YouTube channel, right? But I'll say it now. Please share this video. Let's try to get word out there and see if we can generate some interest in this project. Whew. So, the Wintrov Angel. Let's make it happen. Thank you, guys.